everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have a box from Hornby. Now, this is something I have been personally looking forward to for quite some time, actually since the announcements earlier this year and back in January. And it is the new Black 5. Now, before we get into this, I'm gonna be completely honest. This is my first purchase since the whole tariff thing, and I'll get into that probably later on in the video. Maybe not. I'll probably make it its own thing. We'll see. But this is my first model since that whole, yeah. And one thing I did notice, and that's why I'm starting off with the box here, is this is not the normal box from Hornby. And I say that because if I grab it here, yeah, this is the box that is the model comes from when it's shipped from the factory. Now, my previous Hornby purchases direct from Hornby.com, because this is the web exclusive one, annoyingly. But yeah, so this is the web exclusive one, so unfortunately I did have to pay through Hornby's website. But going back to what I was talking about earlier, my previous purchases from Hornby's website, they don't do this. And I don't know if this is because of the whole tariff thing, because I'm in the US obviously, or they're just being lazy again. I don't know. But this is the box that the model comes from when it's shipped from the factory. So my previous purchases, I'll eventually get this sentence finished, but my previous purchases have consisted of an actual shipping box with this inside, and this being wrapped in bubble wrap of some form. It did not come like that. It came in its factory box, direct from Hornby, and I don't know why. And so that's why I'm starting off this video with this box, because if I open this box and there's some form of damage to this model, I'm gonna be very pissed off. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Well, at least it came with its foam liner thing. That's good, I suppose. Oh god. Yeah. There it is. I really hope there's nothing broken on this model. Something a little different than normal. Mainly the reason why I'm doing this is because I literally could not get the box in frame with my usual method of filming. So we're doing it this way. Right, like I said, I have not opened this up yet, and I'm very scared. So, because if I see one broken piece of detail, yeah, we're gonna have a problem. So, anyway, before we do that, here's the box. Usual box. New box. Can you see that? Probably not. I'm not used to doing it this way. So, there's the drawing. I'll take pictures and post them up, obviously, because this is so weird for me. But here's the box as well. Alright, you've seen enough of that. So, moment of truth. Let's open it out. There is the model. And thankfully, let me just take it out real quick. Let me inspect it first. How about that before I show you? Seems alright. Seems alright so far. I can already see on the front there's something that I really don't like. and I'm sure you can see it too, but we'll see it even better once we take the model out. And it's also on the rear of the tender as well. But yeah, so far so good. We'll take this out and we'll get a better look at it. Crisis averted so far. Yeah, just in case. Right. Right, I don't know if this is going to be a casualty or not, but upon taking the locomotive out of the box, I noticed that the loco and tender aren't connected properly. I don't know if that's a bad thing, and considering that this style of tender connection, and I know what problems people have been having with these lately, I'm very scared, and yeah, I really hope this doesn't become an issue. Unless it's supposed to be like that, but yeah, just thought I'd show that off real quick before we actually get into the detail and proper look at the model. So, something I'm a little concerned about. Hopefully it doesn't become a major issue later down the road. Alright, so here's the model on the test track, or the new test track. I've just pushed together the loco and tender connection because, as you previously saw, it wasn't pushed in all the way, and I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like that or if that was just a factory error, but hopefully it works, because I know this thing, I know the issues people have been having with that style of coupling, especially with A4s, more or less on this particular model. So let me just get the controller. Hopefully it's in the right direction. It's probably not, but this will be its first moves, and hopefully it works. So let's find out. Well, I'll be damned. It moves. It's alive. That was me, not the loco. It's very smooth, I'll give it that. It's very smooth and very quiet, which I do appreciate. Alright, I think I'll run this in and we'll actually take a good long look at this thing. So, be right back. So we're running and now complete. Here's the locomotive and tender now separated. This was a very daunting task. Not daunting, more nerve-wracking, to be honest, because I don't trust that coupling, and I'll explain later on in the video. But here we are. Locomotive and tender are separated. We'll take a look at the detail now. I'll try and be brief, but I have, the more important thing here is I have removed the unnecessary extremities from the front of the model. This was a horrendous task. And what I mean by that is, if we look here, if we can try and look, they're just held on with black tack on both the front and the center lamp. So they have listened to feedback. One of the many improvements they have made to this model is that instead of the lamps being glued on at the factory, like they weren't supposed to, apparently, they have been black tacked on. Now the problem with that is I'll put the video up because I actually did record myself removing the lamps. But the top one was very easy to remove. No problem with that. The problem came from the center one. And there is so much black tack on the center lamp, or where the lamp iron is, that I can't fit it properly, and it's not staying well. It moves around very easily, and one of the things I really want to do to this model is rip out that lighting board that's underneath the buffer beam. If I just turn it around, you can see there. I'll zoom in. How about that? We actually use the zoom function on the camcorder, but you can see there's a lighting board there, and I really want to rip that out and throw it in the trash where it belongs, but unfortunately I can't do that. So shit, don't know what that was. So I'm stuck with this. That would have been my ideal plan. I did unplug the top lamp board thing, so there's no light bleed, but because of how the black tack is and how poorly fitted that center lamp iron is, there's a lot of light bleed, and like I said, my ideal method would have been to rip out that lighting board and throw it in the trash. My other ideal method would have been Hornby to not fit them to begin with. I really don't like these lamps. I hate them with a passion. Granted, they did improve them. They made them smaller. Preferably, once again, leave them off. Don't do this again, please. And there's something I've noticed as well. A lot of the newer stuff that's coming out, like the J52 and the Saint, notice how they don't have lit lamps. I think Hornby learned a lesson. Unfortunately, they didn't learn the lesson with this recent batch, and one of the improvements I was looking forward to was seeing if they were going to actually continue with those lamps. Unfortunately, they did. So, there's that. But apart from that, it is a really good model. It's just those lamps. Oh god, I hate them so much, and a lot of people are going to remove them anyway, so why bother fitting them from the factory? Just leave it up to the customer to fit. I hate them. I hate them so much, and I really wish I never bothered. Which reminds me, before we actually do that, I keep bouncing around, let's take a look at the detail bag. So, you get your crew, painted crew as well. You get a provision. See, you get a provision for fitting a front NIM coupling, but you don't give the customer the option to fit lamps from, straight out of the detail bag. Like, really? Come on now. Anyway, snow plows, coupling, cylinder drain cocks, bare lamps for if you're foolish enough to use them, AWS bang plate, and there's something else in here that, steps, of course, cylinder drain cocks, yeah, and a tablet catcher. Don't know why, but because this model doesn't have a tablet provision for a tablet catcher. But yeah, apart from those lamps, this is a really good model. This is a massive a massive improvement over the old one, in my opinion. And it's, again, if it just wasn't for those lamps, this probably would have been the ultimate Black 5. I really like the finish, as you can see. Look at that shine. I don't know what this is. This isn't gloss. I don't think it's gloss. If it is, it's a really light gloss coat. Might be semi-gloss or satin. Can't be satin because it's way too shiny to be satin. I don't know what it is, but I like it. But yeah, it's a massive improvement over the old one. I love this thing. I love it. Apart from those lamps, I will keep mentioning them because I hate them, and I really wish they stopped doing it. So it's got sprung buffers, obviously. The bogey is once again a massive improvement because the old one, if I put this back down again, here's the old bogey, and it's just a block of metal with wheels, and it's ill. And that's from my old one, which I will bring in the shot later on. But the detail, good gracious golly, the detail, oh my god, I love this thing. I love it so much. It feels like the real thing shrunken down to 00 scale. And I'll say this in my Akira Scale Manor video. The old one feels like a model of the Black 5. This feels like they took a real one and shrunk it down. It's just that good. So, the main reason why I went for this one is because this is what I deem, personally, the common Black 5. It has a separate top feed and dome. It has a long firebox. The way you can tell is count the number of washout plugs, because the first one didn't have this variant, and I don't know why. I don't know what the reasoning for it was, and it really pissed me off. But the first one didn't have this variant, and I was really upset. And then this got announced as part of the 2025 range, and I immediately pre-ordered it because this is the common Black 5, in my opinion. Every single preserved Black 5, well, except for like 4, are in this form. So yes, detail does matter, unfortunately. I know it seems like a lot, but detail does matter, especially for modeling preservation. The cab detail, if I just turn it around, is a massive, I'll keep saying it is a massive improvement. The whole thing is a massive improvement over the old one. But yeah, the cab detail is amazing. You have a fall plate, which is free to pivot, unlike the old one. And also, unlike the old one, I found this out one day. The cab doors move. See, I don't mind little features like that. They're really stupid and pointless. But those lamps, those goddamn lamps. Anyway, there's the number. Livery application is exquisite, as always. The valve gear and rods as well, very, very nice. I really like them. Another thing Hornby have been able to do with this tooling, this is a very extensive tooling, is they've been able to replicate certain members of the class width that had different wheelbase lengths. So I know like the first couple, I can't exactly remember off the top of my head, but the first couple of them had really, not really short, but like the wheelbase was shortened by a little bit. And then this one has longer wheelbase. And then I think some even had even slightly longer than this one, but again, I'll check. So unlike the old one, they actually modeled the ejector piping, which is completely absent, and it looks very jarring on the old Black 5. Another thing that has impressed me is the weight. So I'll put up the picture. I think this weighs like 290 something grams. I'll put up the picture, which is a lot heavier than the old one, and I'm pretty sure people were complaining that this new one was lighter when the absolute disaster that was the first batch came out. That was one of the major complaints. So they have listened to feedback, just, you know, not all of it, and they did make some improvements to this model. One of the improvements is the logo to tender connection length, not the connection itself with the length. I really hope they improve that connection, by the way, but the length itself, between, like, the gap between logo and tender. I'm not going to couple it because I'm terrified of this thing, but it was like something like this on the first run, and it's more like it's a hell of a lot shorter, I'll say that. It's more believable, and it was very noticeable on the first run, and even I thought that gap was horrendous. Which also makes sense because now you can utilize the cab doors should you want to. It has a flickering firebox glow, which I've always said is a pointless feature, but I've gotten used to it. But I'm not going to mention it. I think you already know what I'm going to say, so I'll leave it at that. It's just, I love this thing. I really do. Is this the ultimate Black 5? Probably. I would say that, probably. Because the detail on this thing, oh my god, good god, it's so good. The ascension rod moves, which, you know, they've gotten much better at doing that. The smoke box door is magnetic, and you'll see that when I show, if I've put it up now, but if I've showed the video of me removing the lamps. You have the Tampa printed shed plate there, 26A, and the smoke box number plate 44907. And you can see the black tech remnants of it. So what I want to do, probably after I record this, is I'll probably just strip all the black tech off of both here and the center the center lamp. Strip it off and just glue them in, because realistically I'm not going to use these stupid lamps. So, and for whatever reason I sell this off and someone else is unfortunate enough to get a hold of my model, that's their problem. So yeah, but the detail, I can't stop gushing about the detail because I really like this thing. I really like this thing. The running board is die-cast, which is great. Adds a massive amount of weight to this model. The old model had absolutely no die-cast on it whatsoever. The only die-cast thing on it was the chassis. I really like that matte smoke box. I really like that. And I think the cab roof is matte as well. But they both have sliding vents, which is cool. It's nice. Yeah, so that's the loco. Really good. Safety valves also are a massive improvement. They actually look like safety valves, unlike the old one. Now let's talk about the problem. Well, one of the problems. Not really much of a problem, but the tender. Now, the listing for this thing, when this thing was announced, it was announced with a riveted late crest stannier tender. And as you can see, the tender is neither riveted or does it bear the late crest. It instead has the early crest, which is very neatly tampo printed, as you can see. Very nice. Has a very nice shine to it. So that's why I think it's semi-gloss. I think this is a semi-gloss finish. This is no way in hell this is satin. This is semi-gloss, which I don't mind. But yeah, it's rather confusing, especially when you go look at this particular model. And the website is very persistent. They'll still call this thing BR late when even it's very obvious, and even the URL states this as well. It's BR early. And yeah, so I have a book that I bought specifically for this purpose because I was very confused. and I'll put it up. I'll tag it along at the end of the video. But yeah, you still have the extra thick plastic around the rear of the tender, which is I think it's thicker than the old one. And another issue, and this is a very glaring issue, this is supposed to be early, so why in the hell are there warning flashes? I don't know. I don't understand. Rear of the center lamp as well. You can't remove that, unfortunately. They don't provide you with a spare lamp iron set, which is really annoying. Once again, probably shouldn't have put them on to begin with. So there's that. Sprung buffers, lamp irons on the bottom. At the top, the coal load is removable. It's actually held on with double-sided sticky tape, of all things. But yeah, it's removable. I could dump it out and show you, but it's not going to come out because I actually put the tape back in just to hold it in temporarily. I don't like that joint, as you can see. There's daylight between there. I don't like that. That could have been improved. It's from the tender. Here's the dreaded plug and play coupling that I really hope they've improved on, because lately this coupling has been getting a lot of flack and criticism, especially from if you have one of the more recent A4s, because the A4s have this, were upgraded with this style of coupling, and the old, not the old, but the first run of these, good gracious golly, where there's so many problems with this coupling. Like I said, it was an absolute disaster of a release. But they did listen to feedback, just, you know, not with certain things. Which is great. Hornby are learning, but preferably probably do away with the lamps for future runs. I will still buy future runs if they do any of the preserved ones, which I'm very surprised they haven't done one of the Ian Riley ones. You'd think they would. Maybe they'll do it next year, we'll see. But I'm very surprised they haven't done one of the Ian Riley runs. Black 5s, I mean. One of the massive improvements as well is there used to be a big lip on the tender where the steps are, and it took a lot of surgery. You need to be be very strong-willed to hack the old model, which I will show you, because I am currently in the process of upgrading said old model. So here's the old one. Number is, yeah, I just realized. But, yeah, but the new one doesn't have a sprung rear axle. Don't know what the reasoning for that was. It's stupid and I hate it. It's more problems than it's worth. This one is also very light. I'm pretty sure, once again, people said that the new one was lighter. It's heavier, and that surprised me when I put this on the scales, because I was pretty damn certain people said that the new one was lighter. Here's the new bogie, because the absolute disgrace that was the previous one looks nothing like a bogie. This is a Comet Models kit with Allen Gibson wheels. So I do have a Brass Masters detailing pack that I will be applying to this model. This model isn't getting its own video because I'm, one, a little preoccupied with other stuff, and two, I don't think it's really worth it, and three, just because I don't really feel like it, I'll be completely honest, and I work on this whenever I'm feeling confident enough to hack it. It still has sprung buffers. The front here is actually a little better on the new one, so there's that. Cab detail, it has the old drawbar, not the new one, but like the wire and harness. It has this thing. The safety valves, yeah, it's old and crusty, but I'm trying not to hit the new one because I love it so much. But apologize for the buggy, it just does whatever the hell it wants. Still needs to get painted, but yeah, there's a lot of differences, obviously, between the new and the old. And I'll reiterate again, the new one is a massive, massive, massive improvement over the old Black 5. So, do I think it's the ultimate Black 5? Yes, but also no. So there's that ridge I was talking about earlier. So you could say that looks disgusting. The axle boxes, I think, are better on the new tender as well, because that was also they're way too shallow. Do I think this is the ultimate Black 5? Yes and no. There are certain features that I wish never got, reapplied, like the lamps. Well, the lamps. There are certain features that I'm talking about. I hate them, and I really wish I didn't leave them on. It can't be that hard to modify the tooling so that the lamps for future runs aren't fitted. And if Hornby actually are moving away from stupid gimmicks like that, like I said, it should not be that difficult to remove the lighting features from the tooling. So I did briefly state that this model was one of my first purchases since the whole tariff thing. This costed me, on the website, this is £249, which roughly translates to, I think, $298 US. I'll have to check my bank account, but I paid $100 import fee, which, to be honest, is not really that bad. I thought it'd be so much worse, but that's just me. You might not be willing to do that, but because of these stupid tariffs from that person, I've had to cancel quite a number of things, and it is disheartening. But this thing was on pre-order, and there was no way in hell I'm missing this one out. So, because of the tariffs, I've actually had to space out my pre-orders. So that is rather unfortunate, but it is what it is, unfortunately. But I actually quite like this model. I think it was worth the wait. There have been improvements, and before I go, if you have one of the Caprati ones, they did add an extra weight in one of the Caprati, in the Caprati one that's in the main range, not the old one, obviously. But they added a weight in the Caprati 5, which makes it a little heavier. So there's that. One of the things I actually do like is the extent. It's minor. It's a really minor and stupid criticism. Not criticism, but I guess you could call it a feature. But one of the things I really do like about this new Black 5 is the extensive tooling suite that Hornby have on hand. Like I said, it's in the Engine Shed blog. Unfortunately, that thing is now abandoned. But if you go back and look at when this thing was first being developed, they did talk about the extensive tooling suite, and I think it was on Hornby Model Worlds as well in one of the episodes of that. But they talked about the extensive tooling suite. They can produce so many, almost every single Black 5 configuration, variation, whatever the hell you want to call it. It can produce almost the entire class with this tooling, which you couldn't do with the old one. And the old one only had, I think, 3 variations. You had the domeless one, this one, which is the common one, and the one with the forward top feed. That was all the variation you got out of that, and they only produced 2 different tender types. Whereas with this tooling, they can produce the domeless ones, the forward top feed ones, the common ones. They can also do the Caprati ones. I really, really, really hope the tooling suite also caters for the IVIT Caprati ones, because I would definitely buy one of those as well as the George Stevenson Link Motion Block 5. I really, 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 really want that model. And they've also done welded, riveted, part welded tenders, because there's 3 different types. Whereas the old one, they've only done welded and riveted, and they've tried to pass off a part welded, but it's really just sad. And it's not even, it's welded, but like the rear is riveted, so it doesn't make any sense. So that concludes this video of what is essentially a really all over the place video review thing. Not really, but I do apologize, and it's been a while since I actually recorded anything. So yeah, I really like this model. I will be using it a hell of a lot. I will still be purchasing Block 5, especially if they're in this form, and especially if they do one of the Ian Riley ones. I really hope they do one next year. Either be 44871, no, 44871, not, yeah, well, that one too, but that one, 44871, or 45407, or maybe even 45212. I think I got the number correctly. Yeah, so I really hope they produce those maybe next year, but I can see them milking this tooling, and I mean that in a good way, because this, I will state again, this is a massive improvement over the old one, and I love it. I love it to bits, apart from those lamps. Please get rid of them. Right, before I go, I just wanted to show off some prototype features from this book that I bought by Ian Smith. Book of the Black Fives. Highly recommend these books, by the way. I highly recommend, doing research on your prototype. But if you turn to page 160, here we have our loco 44907 and the old loco 44908. And as you can see, there's a riveted tender on 44908, which is accurately portrayed by the old model. And on the new one, here is a welded early crest tender. Apparently this is supposed to be, where does it say? It's supposed to be like 1949, and yet it has warning flashes. Strange. But that is some prototype information. Now, more importantly, I will be renumbering both of these to my Railways Black 5s, so 44908 will become, well, 4881, so that once it's finished being detailed, and as you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but it's there, but tender does have rivets. Can't really see because of the glare. Yeah, no, you can kind of see it, but also it states up here that a riveted tender, and it ended its life with a riveted tender anyway. So this is the loco in the mid-1960s, and as well as AWS equipment. 44907 will become 44880, and this has a welded tender. As you can see, it had a part welded tender. It originally started life with a part welded tender. Both of them did, but yeah. So this is the loco in 1961. Has all its AWS equipment. Has a welded tender. So I'll probably change the crest, but because of those warning flashes, I'll probably keep them there. However, if you don't want the warning flashes, there's nothing that a toothpick, a cotton bud, and some thinner won't fix. But yeah, just wanted to show that off real quick. I recommend picking up any form of written source material if you are modeling a specific model or a specific locomotive. My bad. Highly recommend it. It doesn't make you a rivet counter, so don't be ashamed. It only makes you a rivet counter if you are very exact with your details, down to, the minute, really little things. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, I'll be going now. So thank you for watching, and bye.